What is happening, people, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're keeping well. Today, we're going to be talking about that narrow defeat to Bayern, where we lost 3-2 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Today, I'm joined by a fantastic panel. Firstly, Peter, welcome back on the channel. How you doing?
I'm all right. Thank you so much for having me back on the channel. Always a pleasure to come on. So excited to get into this one, despite the result, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, despite the result, it's great to have you on as always. So thank you very much. And also, big welcome to Rinketic. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Oh, I'm very good, thank you. Thank you very much for asking. Looking forward to getting into it. So it should be a good one. Should be a good one. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It's free to do so, and it helps the channel grow ahead of the 24-25 season. But let's crack straight into it. And Peter, I will start with you. Because before we get into the game, we've got to talk about the biggest story that happened throughout today. And no, it isn't the Spurs and Bayern game. It's the announcement of the signing, Dominic Solanke. So what are your thoughts on this signing, Peter? Are you excited?
Do you know what? I'm very excited about this signing because I felt like one of our weaknesses last year was actually a striker that could stay fit. Because Richarlison, he's a fantastic striker, as we know. He's done it with Everton. He's shown glimpses at Spurs, but unfortunately, his injury record shows that he's not going to stay fit for every game of the season. And we've got a fantastic player now, Dominic Solanke. He can hold up the play, can put the ball in the back of the net. He's a brilliant player, and I'm really excited to see what he does.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm exactly the same. Rinketic, are you excited to see Dominic Solanke? And how do you kind of rate with the signing? Is it one that you're happy with, you really wanted to see, or you're not so happy with?
I'm just wondering why it has taken so long. That's the thing. Like I heard, like I'm trying not to sound negative, but I heard like people saying like, yeah, this player got Euros, this player got Euros, but we could got this deal done at the soft of the window if we really wanted him. And I'm afraid, like I'm kind of afraid, like this is our like third, fourth option, kind of like we did with Nuno, like letting time go and yeah.
So you don't think he's number one option for Ange? You don't think he was the first target? If you
not
like,
really, no, not really.
Who do you think it would have been though? As I'm interested to fans to think, if it wasn't Solanke, who do you think it was that in Ange's head or the club's head that was the number one priority?
The thing is, I don't know, but I heard about Tony before, but I also heard like one of the top managers had like a phone call with Tony and he didn't like it. And I'm kind of wondering if that was Ange actually. I'd heard that was either Mikel Arteta or it was Ange.
Who knows? Who knows? He's heavily linked to the move to Arsenal. But no, I agree with what both of you said about Solanke. Peter, would you use the word marquee signing to describe the signing of Solanke? I haven't seen that word being used a lot. Obviously, it is record transfer for us. It is close to his release clause of 65 million euros. Do you think it's a marquee signing, or is it certainly a really, really good signing? The closest we've kind of had, I suppose, to replacing Harry Kane since Harry Kane himself.
Yeah, obviously, it is a very big money move. Let's keep it real here. It's 65 million. That is a massive amount of money. I think people are afraid to use the marquee signing maybe because it doesn't come from a bigger team. I mean, no offense to Bournemouth, because obviously, in respect to Bournemouth, they're not exactly the biggest team in the country, and I think that's what's stopping it being labelled a marquee signing. But I do think you got to look at his history as well. He was at Chelsea. He was at Liverpool. He's obviously a very talented player, and I think for the money we're going to know what we're going to get, because 19 Premier League goals will definitely improve us. He will definitely latch onto some Brennan Johnson crosses, hopefully. So yeah, I think it's very close to a marquee signing.
I think so. To kind of put you on the spot, Peter, how many goals do you think that we're looking at? Don't have to give you an exact number, but how many goals do you think we're looking at? Because as you said there, 19 goals for Bournemouth last season. I reckon it'd be a little bit more than that, don't you think?
You'd like to think so, but I think obviously we need to allow him time to adapt. It's never easy to come straight into a club like Spurs. There'll be a lot of pressure on his back. So I'm hoping he can hit the ground running, but I think a realistic target would be about 15 to 20 Premier League goals. That would be my realistic target for him.
Okay, interesting. That's interesting to hear. Thank you very much, Peter. Rinketic. Solanke, 2 questions for you here. I asked Peter. One, is he a marquee signing? Firstly, do you view him as a marquee signing? And how many goals do you think Solanke will get this season?
20 overall, over every competition. Because
Okay.
I reckon he will still play I don't know, let's say 70, 80 of the games.
Right.
And Marcus signing, not really. I think it's to be honest, it's a good signing right now because there aren't I had this conversation with someone, I forgot who, but nowadays there aren't a lot of good strikers out there, and he has proven last season he can do it, even though it's been a bit mediocre the years before. But I hope he can progress with his last season at Bournemouth, so it won't be another Richarlison. And yeah, and we saw today, I know Dejan Kulusevski ain't a striker, but we saw we needed someone who can hold the ball in the penalty box and who can shoot. Because I actually reckon we could have scored more if Solanke played today.
Yeah, no, I think that's possibly true, to be able to. Ian takes the pressure off the defence. So thank you to both of you. But I want to move on to the Bayern game, and I'll come back to you, Peter. So firstly, what were your thoughts on the lineup pre-match? I'm going to read it out here for people who didn't see it. So the lineup was Vicario, Porro, Dragusin, Davis, Spence, Sarr, Basuma, Madison, Johnson, Kulusevski, and Son. And the bench was, this is a long one, so bear with me, Brandon Austin, Gunter, Udogie, Romero, Van der Ven, Donnelly, Skip, Gray, Bergvall, Bentacle, Devine, Moore, Solomon, Werner, Lancashire. Were you happy with that lineup, Peter?
Look, we have to remember that a lot of our players, our main defenders, were on holiday, just coming back from the Euros. So we didn't have Romero and Van der Ven to start with. But I think, honestly, it was a solid enough starting 11. I kind of knew that it wasn't our best 11. It's definitely not the one that we're going to be playing against Leicester next Monday. So I wasn't too concerned with the starting 11. I just wanted to see how we played and if we adapted from previous pre-season games, maybe when to pass out the back, which Vicario, I don't know if he seemed to learn it today. But I think the starting 11 was the strongest it could have possibly been with everyone on holiday. And I'm still a bit concerned about our midfield options. I know Basuma, Sarr, Madison on paper was our starting midfield 3 last season, but there's something just not clicking with that midfield 3 right now. So I do have a bit of concern. Hopefully Bergvall, I'm sure we'll get into it, he can fill in the space in that midfield 3.
We will definitely get on to Bergvall. I thought he was very, very good again today. I was impressed throughout pre-season. Thank you very much, everyone, in the comments below. Do get involved in the comments. I've seen a couple of questions. We'll get to questions towards the end of the show. But yeah, we will definitely bring them up because we're very keen to get your thoughts. Just add your opinion at any time because we will definitely go through them. Rinketic, were you also, I say happy with the lineup, but the same as Peter, you know that this is going to be the 11, when we go into the Leicester game. So, there's a bit of understanding and kind of thinking behind it.
Oh, I knew this was going to be the starting 11 against Leicester, but I actually wanted Gray to start instead of Papisa or Bis.
Right. Okay.
Because okay, I know Ange don't play with a 6, but in my opinion, I would like a more defensive guy because both Papisa and Bis are up and down. While with Archie Gray, with him, it's a bit more protection at least. That's the only change I would like. Of course, with Kuti, Mickey, and Udogie, but Udogie has been injured, and the other 2 just came back. So I understand that part.
Yeah, absolutely. It's completely understandable. And I think that's why, obviously, we're looking vulnerable defensively, but we will crack into it. And Rinketic, I'll actually stay with you because 23 seconds into the game, it's 1-0 Spurs. Kulusevski with the opener. It fell to him really nicely. It was a perfect start to the game, wasn't it, Rinketic? You couldn't have asked for anything better. Scoring inside 25 seconds.
Yeah, I was actually setting something up while the goal happened. So I checked at something else for a bit, and then I saw him celebrating. I was like, "Wait, what?" And then I was like, "Well, that's a nice goal." And those are like quite important goals. That's the thing. Get the ball rolling, like minute one. That's a big Bayern mistake. Get a ball going, and then get a goal. And that goal, like in the future when the real stuff starts, it can be an important goal, like in like a Europa League or whatever. So yeah, it's good to see like from minute one, it's like boom, goal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what we want. Fast start, keep the opponent guessing. Peter, yeah, the perfect start, wasn't it? But also Kulusevski in particular. He's a man in real form right now, isn't he? Throughout pre-season, real form.
I think finishing wise, he's been on fire in pre-season. He seems to know where the back of the net is in this new striker role almost. Man, like he seems to be in this new position, finding the back of the net, making some really good runs, obviously, which is good. And I thought today's goal was a real poacher's finish, obviously coming off a calamitous error from Bayern Munich, but he had the reaction to poach on it and lift it over Manuel Neuer, a fantastic goalkeeper. So it was a great finish, and honestly, he's been banging in form in the pre-season.
Yeah, he absolutely has been. I think he's been really, really good, and I hope that it stays this way going into the new season. Because by his high standards, last season, it wasn't good enough for him. He's come in, hit the ground running in pre-season. So long may that continue. Rinketic, I'll come to you. 16th minute, it was 1-1 with Upamecano equalising. That was poor defending from Spurs, right? It was given a lot of time, a lot of space. It was, in the end, quite a simple goal, I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah. At the start, I actually thought that was offside. It might have been a bit bad ankle or something, but I thought it was offside. But then I saw the goal. I was like, yeah, we kind of let Vicario down on that one. And it's kind of like another YouTuber posted on X, like Spurs conceded from another set piece. Surprise. Like it was an issue last year, and we need to be way better at that.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it's an ongoing issue. We'll get on to set pieces because this isn't the only goal, frustratingly, we concede from a set piece. Peter, yeah, from a Spurs point of view, it's poor, isn't it? You shouldn't be even allowed to Upamecano to win the header, let alone score, right?
Yeah, and you know what? If I remember rightly, I think the free kick we gave away came from a Dragusin sloppy foul after we attempted to play out from the back, and it just completely failed. We lost the ball in a dangerous position. We had no other choice but to bring him down. So it was a silly foul to give away. And then, I don't know, Dragusin almost left Upamecano on the wrong side. He wasn't goal side of him when marking him, which I thought is Sunday league defending, really. So I was really disappointed with Dragusin for that first goal. I can understand where we let Vicario down, but I also think maybe he could have parried it out a bit more rather than towards the 6-yard box. But it was just an overall really disappointing goal to concede another one from the set piece.
Yeah, another one from the set piece. Very, very frustrating. 31st minute, Gnabry, 2-1 Bayern. Rinketic, what are we doing? I mean, firstly, I just want to put out here, I'm not going to put it on Vicario. I believe that by Ange, he's told to play that way, and whatever you think of it, I do believe that he's told to play it from the back, take risks. But Basuma, he's acting like and looking like he's half asleep and has just got out of bed, totally not aware of players around him. So I do think that is 98, 99% on Basuma. But I want to know what you think. Is it good Bayern press? Is it poor from Spurs? Which I think we can all agree
concentration.
Has a part to play from Spurs. Yeah, concentration. But do you think it's from Vicario or Basuma or both?
The thing is, like, I'm gonna say this from like my own like coaching experience. Like it's rarely a goalie's fault. Like rarely. Like there are some certain stuff that happens when it's like down to the goalkeeper, but mostly if we lose the ball and then it's a goal, then it's down to like concentration or people not focusing or something, like you missed out on a man. So I would say that was on Bissouma.
Okay.
But sorry, may I add a point?
That's right,
Yeah, it's also that like I said before, like Bissouma ain't like a defensive guy either. He's still a box to box, so he still need to like, yeah. Like I heard like people say like he's our number 6, but I reckon he can't be that, and he kind of showed that today. So
yeah, absolutely, I'd agree with you, Peter. Gnabry's goal, what do you put it down to? I mean, Gnabry always scores against Tottenham, always does well, but we gifted this one to him, didn't we?
I mean, do you know what? It was a carbon copy of the goal we conceded last week against Bayern Munich. I mean, have we not learned our lesson when we're trying to play out from the back? To be honest, it looked like a really good finish from Gnabry, to be honest, but we gave him the goal. It was like it was his birthday, and we said, "Here you go, have a free goal against us." I have to disagree with you there, Rinketta. You said it was mainly Basuma's fault. Obviously, his concentration and he wasn't on his toes. Maybe that is what obviously lost in the ball. But then I always have to look at the blame from Vicario's point of view. The fact he can see there's a man on rushing on Basuma, there's got to be a moment where we just kick it long. It's not always play out from the back because there's just not the right time sometimes. And I think we're trying to we'll be so focused on trying to play out from the back that we're almost forcing it so much. It's so easy for teams to press us and win the ball back up high in dangerous areas, and it really costed us in that first half. So I think we saw Vicario learn from it in the second half, cooking it a bit longer, but he should have done better for the first goal or second goal. Sorry.
I think so. I think the goalkeeper also has a part to play. I don't believe in playing that pass. I believe in going long sometimes. As you said, gets you out of trouble, and especially with Solanke coming in, that's what you got to do sometimes here. Whether you're attacking team, defensive team, or you believe like Ange does, get the ball on the floor and play. You can't always do that when you're up against a juggernaut in Bayern Munich, whether it be Man City or whatever team you play. Yeah, whether it be in the Premier League or outside, or where we want to be in the future, the Champions League or Europa League next season. We can't do that in all case scenarios. When you've got the high press, it's just going to cause you problems like it did today. So I think, we needed that, and we need to learn from that in a way. But I don't think we will. But that's what they're kind of there for, I think, to learn from them. But whether we will is another thing or not. But Peter, we'll stay with you because the 44th minute, it gets from bad to worse. Thomas Müller, 3-1 Bayern. Second goal in the match conceded from a set piece. I mean, this show was dominated last season by our problems with set pieces, and it's already dominated with it in this game. Haven't even got the season underway. Why can't we defend them? Just why? What do you put it down to? And I know such a brief kind of an open question that I don't know why. I can't answer it myself. But why can't we defend them? So frustrating.
To be honest, I don't even know why. I mean, it's like we don't even practice defensive set pieces in training. I mean, what do they do all day, every day? I mean, it's so shocking. I mean, do we have a set pieces coach at this point? I don't even know. But again, I was really disappointed with Kulusevski. I think he let Thomas Müller go too easily, leaving a free head at the back post from one of the best headers in football history, to be honest. Thomas Müller, we know he's so dangerous with his head. So it was just really disappointing to just concede so many goals from set pieces. I mean, it's almost calamitous, to be honest. I mean, Kulusevski, just stay goal side and watch your man. I genuinely don't know what he's doing, but to be honest, I don't know. We need a set piece coach. We really do.
We desperately do. One that knows a lot about set pieces, experience in it, and knows how to teach it. Not someone who has never took a set piece, been involved in a set piece, defended one. So that'd be very handy. But you mentioned what they do in training. I would say it's passing. But then you see Gnabry's goal, and I clearly don't think it's passing because we can't pass the white shirt. Maybe you learn how to pass the opposition. But, I don't know what they do. And I generally think that we don't work on set pieces, certainly not defensively, and that is a big worry. Rinketic, or the new Ryan Mason, you called yourself today. Who do you want to be? The set piece coach? Do we need one?
Yes. Like we saw, under Conte, we actually, if you guys remember, we had a set piece issue during Conte as well when he first came, and we got that Italian guy. I forgot his name now, but we got that Italian, the older fella.
He's very good at what he's done.
And we became way better after. And what I heard right now, our set piece coach is Jedinak. And like no disrespect to Yannick, because he will be like he will have a way better football career than I will ever be, but he wasn't even like a set piece taker himself, or like
Clearly not.
no, he was a
Yeah.
defensive. He was like a defensive guy. So like
Well,
that's
that makes
the
it worse,
issue
then,
right
doesn't it?
now.
Makes it worse.
Yeah,
You should know how to defend. We can't.
yeah,
I find that
exactly.
really worrying.
And the thing
But,
was like he played in the Prem as well. That's the thing. So I actually think we should get one, and but I hope Ange ain't that stubborn and won't take one in. That's the thing.
well, yeah, I hope you're right, but we shouldn't have got rid of the previous set piece coach. And managers do it, and it's not just Ange Postecoglou. Managers do it when they come in, and it's
Yeah.
sweep out the staff, the club do it, everyone out, rather than looking at each individual member and go, what qualities have they got? Because one thing that we were very good at was set pieces, and well, we haven't kept
But would you
kept that. I feel like,
would you guys take him back? I forgot his name now.
absolutely. In a heartbeat, I'd make him highest paid. I think that we need to improve set pieces. So whatever it takes, big up, Jay. Don't forget to smash the subscribe buttons. A lot of people you listening, so that'd be massively appreciated. We head into the 24-25 season. There's more content than ever. Expanding Scarface's personal team, expanding collaborations and contributors to the channel. So do join the community by subscribing. That'd be massively appreciated. But Peter, what did you make of the first half? Because we took the lead and then it went in at half-time 3-1 behind. So not ideal in a way, was it?
Overall, I was very disappointed with the first half, to be honest. I mean, we had a really fantastic start. I mean, 20 seconds in, scoring a goal, we can't get much better than that, really. But our performance seemed to drop off. Bayern Munich seemed to ease into it, gain a lot more confidence. I think we only had about 2 or 3 shots in that first half. I mean, it was really disappointing to see. We made life too easy for Bayern Munich, though, at times, trying to play out the back in dangerous areas. And they fair play to them, they pressed up really high and really well. And that's what they got the reward from it, winning the ball up high and creating many chances. And really, it could have been more than 3-1. So I was really disappointed with it just 1 week before the start of the Premier League campaign. So I want to see a bit more of improvement. That first half just wasn't that good.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I didn't see it. I'm on holidays. I didn't go to today's game, and typically TNT subscription starts next month. I didn't even realise it was on. So I was like, that's proper frustrating. But then I saw the score at half time. I thought, well, maybe it's not that frustrating. Rinketic, what did you make of the first half? Obviously, I know you watched it as well. Did you kind of see that coming when we took the lead that early on? I mean, it looked like the perfect start, and it just from then was downhill.
To be honest, this game ended up better than I thought. Like, someone asked me for the prediction yesterday, and I said like 1-5 to Bayern. Because in general, I think this game is like, I don't know if you boys agree, but it's a better improvement than the last one from last week. It's a way, like, I could see like we improved a lot, but I still like there's like when, for example, there were like one pass when Madison, he did like a wonderful pass, but I forgot who. It went to a Bayern player because the Spurs player didn't want to like run towards the ball. He just stood there. And there were other like scenarios that kind of showed like something ain't clicking yet. No. And it's kind of worrying right now. That's the thing.
Yeah, we need to get that sorted out. But no, I think that a lot of people agree with you that we improved from last week to this week, even if someone hasn't seen the game. But I've seen reports, and you see little clips, and you see the highlights, and it is clear to see the second game we were better. I think having players back was quite key. Being at home, I think, had a part to play as well. But at half-time, a lot of changes were made. So run through them for people who didn't see it. Werner came on, Benskill came on, Udogie, Skip, Bergevall, Gray, Romero and Van der Ven all coming on, and Johnson, Spence, Madison, Porro, Davis, Dragusin, Sarr and Basuma all making way. So there was a lot of changes. And then in the 61st minute, we pulled it back, if you like, to 3-2, made it interesting. Kulusevski at the double, assist by Bergevall. Peter, I know in particular you really want to speak about Bergevall. We'll get on to a bit of it later in terms of should he start the first few games for us, especially the Leicester game. But he does really well, doesn't he, Bergevall? And I know, we're already giving credit to Kulusevski, but I think this is really created by Bergevall. It's a neat piece of work, isn't it, really, from him to thread through the pass to Kulusevski.
I mean, when he came on, he just instantly brought the spark. He was tenacious, always demanding the ball. And that's what I love about midfielder. He was always demanding the ball. He never shied away from it. He wanted to receive it, always wanted to create. And I mean, we saw with that assist. Fantastic little ball into Kulusevski. A great finish for Kulusevski. But Bergvall brought the boom today. Honestly, he was just fantastic today. And we know his quality. I mean, Barcelona wanted to sign him. We obviously beat him to the signature. So I'm really excited that we've got a talent like Bergvall at our club. I mean, he was just fantastic today, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was really, really good. Big up Haz in the chat. It says I watched the game. Sounds very good. Haz, if you want to jump on, let me know. I don't know how long we go for, but do get involved with your opinion. If not, throughout the comments, first friendly I watch. Fair play to you. I know that friendlies is always a struggle for you to watch. I know you're busy as well, but no, thank you very much, Haz, for tuning in this evening. Rinketic, that goal, second goal from us, pull it back to 3-2. What were you thinking at the moment? Were you thinking we can get back into this, we can get something out of it?
Like during the second period in general, second half in general, I thought it was like it was something. I think like Ange went mad at the squad or something. The typical Ange like clips we have seen when he screams at all players and stuff. I felt like it was something like that because we saw a different Tottenham, and I know like we changed a few players like Bayern, and Bayern actually changed the game. And in my opinion, he could be our one of the 8 next week. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest, because no disrespect to Leicester, but they just came up and they still have Harry Winks in the squad, and I think he should be able to bully Harry Winks, if we're gonna be honest. And yeah, to be honest, even when we were 3-2 down, I was we can still score a last minute goal to draw it, but it never happened, unfortunately.
No, it didn't. But do you think we deserve something, Rinketic? Obviously, did end 3-2 Bayern?
No, because the shooting were pretty poor. The final third was pretty poor. We had a few good passes, but they weren't really chances. I felt like we didn't challenge Neuer that much. We challenged the defenders, but not Neuer.
Right.
That's why I felt like we shouldn't have, we didn't deserve to win this in general.
No, fair enough. No, that's fine. Thank you very much. Peter, same question to you because it did end 3-2 Bayern. Did we deserve something out of the game, or was that a case of we improved from the game before? We've still got a little bit of learning to do. Still got Van der Ven, Romero, Doggy to come back to their full fitness, Richarlison to come back, etc. Not where we want to be, if you like. So at the end of the day, it's not too bad, but we didn't deserve anything from the game. So what do you think?
I think you summed up perfectly there, to be honest. We've got so many players that we know they're guaranteed starting 11 players. Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, hopefully Dominic Solanke as well to come in. So we know this wasn't our first team, but it was an improvement from the last preseason friendly game, which is what obviously we wanted to see, after that abysmal performance against Bayern Munich last week. I also thought the second half was a big improvement from the first half as well. We seem to have a lot more control. However, I don't think we deserve to win the game. I think Bayern Munich done enough to deserve the win, and they were worthy winners.
Yeah, I think that I can agree with that. I think a lot of people were. So credit to Bayern Munich. Welcome him on to today's show. Haz, how you doing?
Can you hear me okay? Is everything good? Yeah.
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining. What did you make of today's game, Haz? Obviously, the first one you've seen. Were you impressed? Were you disappointed? Because it's obviously, as you've seen none of it. So I want to know what you thought based on one game.
Yeah, I know. Because for me, it was all new in a sense. Because I kind of shied away from friendlies, partly because of work. Because I haven't had actually this kick off at noon or something, and I'm stuck at work. So I can't watch any of it, or awkward times, or I'm just out somewhere else. But so for me, there's obviously good and bad with it. The good was some of the youngsters did okay, I thought. Probably not as good as I've been hearing, but they did all right. And obviously, the bad stuff for me on the whole, to summarize the game, was the same mistakes as last season. The set pieces, I'm getting quite bored of watching us concede from set pieces, and passing around the back got us into trouble again. So it's like, I don't know. I worry about whether Ange's learned or not. That's the thing that's worrying me. As for the players, like I said, I thought that Bergvall did okay out of all the youngsters. I was impressed with him the most. And as for the first teamers, Kulusevski, everyone's banging on about him. I think he's going to have a future at Spurs. It has to be through the middle in some capacity, which means we have to go out and sign a winger.
And you called it, didn't you, to be fair? You called all the last season to put him in midfield when we had the show together. And he does look better there, even if he's not playing the false 9 in that 10 position. But you mentioned there, as if he has a future at Spurs in the middle, etc. Can you see him starting many games, let's say, in the league this season, or is he just a player to come on and impact the game?
See, with Kulusevski, he can't. Okay, so this is a positive and negative at the same time. I don't know how to say this, but so he can play multiple positions, which is a good thing. So, like, for example, you'll bring him on. So I know in the second half he played a bit on the right wing, where if you want to close out a game, he's probably a very good player to bring on because he can hold the ball. But in certain games, you could even put him up front with someone because, as you know, he played almost as a false 9, such a proper number 9 today. But with Solanke coming in, I think his position is very difficult to put because if he's going to play in the middle, he won't. But is he going to take one of the wide positions? I wasn't impressed with Sonny at all today. And I know in pre-season I've heard he's not been doing very well. And I think this is probably Son's last season.
I think so.
And I think we need to use him as a rotation player this season. I've been saying this for ages, but I just feel like after watching that friendly, I'm just like, no, please don't play this guy because I just don't think he has the legs anymore. And a midfield, Maddison, I know people have been telling me that he's been very not as confident. And I think it kind of showed today. I just don't think it was as good as it was in the first 10 games last season. So there's a lot of work to be done, and there's like 9 days till we kick off.
Yeah, it is 9 days until kick off. Well, don't worry. Hopefully, we get it sorted by then. But no, if people are interested, we are previewing the Leicester game on Monday night show, so do check that out. But Haz, before kind of move on to asking you, same question that I asked these two. Do you think we deserve something from today? Obviously, we can agree there's a lot to improve. Or do you think Bayern were deserved winners, if you like, in the end?
Yeah, after the first goal, we seemed to kind of just switch off. And then they went and scored 2 or 3 goals, and that was it. So, no, we didn't really deserve to win the game at all, I didn't think.
Pretty honest, no, I like that. Fair enough. No, I do agree with you. Renketek, I'll come to you. Who impressed you in that game today?
Come again. I didn't hear the middle part.
That's all right. Might have been my signal, so I do apologise for that. Who impressed you in today's defeat?
Lucas. The thing is, we have seen, I've seen him in the Swedish league, and I've seen him in general during the preseason, and he has been top, he has keep progressing and stuff, and he did quite good against this was kind of Bayern's main team anyway, and he did pretty well for himself. He took the ball, he played some good passes and everything. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish it, but that's another topic. But I think Lucas was our best player today.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Peter, who impressed you? You got anyone different other than Lucas Bergvall? I think it would be quite a common one, it's fair to say, because he did do well when coming on.
Yeah, I think obviously, like I said earlier, Bergvall really brought the boom today. He was fantastic. I also want to give a quick shout out to Archie Gray. I thought his footwork at times was amazing. Also, I was really surprised. Timo Werner, he seems to actually be willing to drive at players and actually beat his man, which we hadn't seen often last season. So I was quite pleased with Timo Werner. I wasn't happy that we re-signed him on loan, but today I thought he really showed something different today, which I was a bit like, is this Werner really? I thought it was Bergwall at one point, but I was actually quite surprised by Werner's performance.
Okay, fair enough. I haven't heard anyone say about Werner's performance, so there we go. We'll touch on Tom Werner, and I don't really necessarily horribly against him, but sometimes I forget he's here. I think he's on the bench quite a few of these games, but no, I just forget that he's here. But we'll have to see what kind of season he has. Who impressed you? Obviously, you said what you thought. The youngsters were good, maybe not as good as you were thinking, but they're still good. Is anyone else that stood out to you apart from your Lucas Bergman?
Lucas,
we know Son didn't stand out for you.
Yeah. I had to get that off my chest. Sorry, because I was watching Lost World.
That's okay.
I watched your show, so.
Oh, okay, no worries.
I was writing in the chat, so it was kind of on my head. But maybe I'm trying to give you like a minute or so. Maybe Bissouma in the first half. I thought he did quite well actually. Fingers crossed we get the Bissouma if we got the beginning of last season, next season. But I thought he did quite well. I kind of felt sorry for Spence because he was playing on the left because he clearly isn't left-footed. And I thought Porro did all right as well. But I don't think I felt like I don't think I actually learned anything like that much new apart from just seeing what the youngsters were doing really. So, and as Solanke only joined today.
Yes.
I see him in the team. So, because that's what I mean with Kulusevski, imagine he'll play, from what I've gathered from the preseason and the mind game I watched and what people have been telling me, because there was a group chats, of course. I think he'll probably play Son, Johnson, and Solanke as his front three, most likely, unless we sign another winger. Because I think Son was playing the team regardless of what I say. He'll play on the left.
I do think we need another winger, though. That long-term replacement for Son, don't we, really? Whoever it is, whether it be Eze, Neto, or someone else. I think you'd probably agree with that, Has.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted two, but we've got Werner, so I don't see them doing two.
I think that's unlikely. Can't see us signing 3 forwards, can you?
Like Eze and like Rafinha or something. I'll take that.
Rafinha, okay. That's an
I
interesting
think
shout.
is a bit too injury prone. I don't think they're going to do the deal at the moment, at least.
I want to throw a name out there in case, because obviously Neto, Chelsea, and it's just a totally random one from the Championship actually, and that's Jonathan Rowe of Norwich, who I think will leave. I really like him. I think he's a really dynamic player, and I think could not necessarily now, but I think eventually be that long-term replacement for Son, kind of back end of the season and moving on to next season. So I do personally really like him. Next, I want to move on to who's impressed overall in pre-season, and for understandable reasons. I won't ask you, Has, because you've only watched one of the games. So I'm not excluding you, don't worry. Rinketic, I'll come to you first, actually. Who's impressed me? It could be one name, it could be quite a few, based on what you've seen. Has anyone gone, they're better than I thought they would be? Jed Spence comes to my mind.
Archie Gray. Because he played like 3 different positions? Centre back. Did he play as a right back, or am I just? Yeah, he did, right? Yeah, and right back, and then he played as a CM as well. So he this, no disrespect to the other teams as well, but he did pretty good to them against them, and he showed like he did pretty well against okay teams. And so we know for the future he can do a job as a right back. He may, I'd rather not to, but he can play as a centre back, and he can be useful everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. Before we move on to people's questions, they put in the chat, so thank you very much for your patience. Peter, who's impressed you overall in pre-season? You got anyone else apart from Archie Gray?
Obviously, I think Archie Gray really stood out, especially at centre-back in the start of pre-season. He looked really comfortable there for an 18-year-old. I think Jed Spence as well, almost a revitalised player since coming back from loan. Seems a bit more eager, and that's what we want. He's always giving his best, putting in some good performances. So I was happy with Jed Spence's pre-season. I also thought Bissouma overall, I think today he had a bit of an off game, but overall I think Bissouma looked like he's starting to show signs of coming back to his best, which is obviously what we want from a midfielder like Bissouma. And I feel like he could be a really key key vital player in Ange's success at Spurs, hopefully. And I thought Mikey Moore, obviously, you know, we know he's very talented. So I think just seeing him on the score sheet, obviously fantastic. And hopefully he embeds into the squad quite nicely.
Yes, fingers crossed. I agree with all your names mentioned. I think they kind of come up well. And I thought, from what I heard, Basuma actually done okay today. But that pass, I think he has a big part for that led to Gnabry's goal. I think that you shouldn't receive the ball in that position, but I think that's the way that Ange tells them to play. So Basuma's got to be, for me, more sharp, more alert, come towards the ball, play the ball. But he just looked completely lost to me. Typical goal to concede when you play that, I think. But I do want to move on to people's questions, and the first question is for you in particular, Peter. Rayran Raza says, where do you think Spurs are going to finish this season? I mean, it's a good point. The season starts for us anyway in 5-6 days. So where do you think we're going to finish?
Look, as much as I love to be optimistic, I think we haven't fully strengthened to the best of our abilities in this transfer window. I think Has touched upon it earlier. We do need more up, like in the attacking areas. If that's an Eze, if that's another winger like Jonathan Rowe, I do think we need just someone else in attack. And for that reason, I can see us coming around 5th or 6th. Hopefully, we do better. I really hope we do better than that. But it's just me being a bit more realistic here.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you. And I've often thought 6th, and I hope that I'm wrong. Maybe the signing of Solanke would change that. Who knows? Has, I want to ask you actually, because we haven't spoken about it much. Obviously, Spurs Kings not doing the same format throughout the summer or many shows for different reasons. But where do you think Spurs will finish next season?
I'm going to sound like the positive one here. I think we're going to finish 4th.
Oh, that is positive for you.
No, the reason I say this though is because I think Villa will drop off from last season. I think they'll struggle to cope with Champions League and Premier League, kind of like what happened to us back in 2010, where we qualified the season after we finished 5th because we just couldn't cope with both competitions. And even though they're strengthened really well, the 2 games a week, they struggled with that a bit last season, even with the Thursdays as well to Sundays. And it's only mainly because of our drop off that they got there. But with the Champions League and them being the first time ever in the Champions League, I think they'll put their strongest side out every week there, and I think that'll impact their league form. Even though United have improved, I don't see them finishing above us. I think the top 3 will stay the same, so I think Liverpool will sneak in 3rd still. So I think we'll finish 4th because of that, and I think Solanke. I don't know if you're going to ask me about Solanke later on, so maybe I'll say this, but I think we've got enough now to get enough goals to push us to 4th. But not for a title.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll ask you now. Are you happy with the signing?
Yeah, so I'm in the middle.
Are you happy?
Okay. So I know how to describe this. So I'm not. There's a Solanke Tony stuff a lot. So I was more Solanke, and it's mainly because I just prefer that style of player.
Right.
That style of striker. I'm not really a target man person. I like the fast ones. Kind of like Defoe and players like that a lot. So for me, that was another preference. But also, he kind of fits the system better because if you look at his goals and his movement, it's more. He's always on the end of things, like on a run or something, or peeling off a defender. And also, I just think he's a much better fit for us. Tony has other issues, so Solanke is a way better choice. And I just think he'll get in. Like I said, I think he'll get 15 goals, 10 to 15 goals. Plus that you had the Song goals here and there, and the Charlton, hopefully if he stays, and here and there, we'll probably get enough to get 4th. But is he the top class striker I thought we were going to get, or we're going to try to get? No. But yeah, so he'll take us to 4th, which is why I said he's probably be good. But is he the best? Probably not.
Okay, that's interesting to hear. Thank you very much. Rinketic, keeping on this question before we go on to the next one. Where do you think Spurs will finish in the 24-25 season?
6th, 5th. I think we need at least another winger to close the gap. And
do you have a preference on the winger?
I saw Lucas say Bakayoko, Due, Consensao. Of those 3, it would be Bakayoko. But the thing is, he is on Leipzig's radar. And compared to Spurs compared to Leipzig, for example, they would get the done deal within 10 minutes. And So it's one of those like Due, he's probably going to Bayern though. Consensao, I think he's way too, how do you say, like inconsistent. His up is like here, his down is like here. And I can't deal with another like Brendan Johnson again or Timo Werner or something. We need like a proper consistent winger. But I would say Bakayoko if we can get him. And it's like 20, 30 million, so it should be okay.
We'll have to see what happens. Who knows? Peter, Fania says, would you play Kulusevski against Leicester and where? Thank you for your question.
You know what? Despite having, I think he's had a good preseason in terms of scoring goals. I don't actually see where he fits into the starting 11 for Leicester, for the Leicester game, to be honest. I think we'll start with a front three of Son, Solanke, and Johnson, and then Maddison in behind them with maybe Bergvall and Basuma. That would be my ideal, starting 11 almost. And I just don't see how Kulu gets in, to be honest. As much as he had a promising preseason, he scored a lot of goals. I just think if we're trying to play him in that, changed role, new role, I just think Solanke is a lot better than him, and I'd prefer to see Solanke play against Leicester.
Okay, thank you very much. That's interesting to hear. Rinketic, I've got next question for you, and it's interestingly worded from Barney. So his question is, what can turn Spurs into a title-winning side now that we've signed Solanke? Interestingly laid out there, but thank you very much for the question nonetheless. What do you think? When we talk about wingers, is that enough for you to get us into the top four?
And a proper midfielder, I would say. What I mean about proper midfielder is like a proven one.
Okay.
Our like midfielders, they're quite decent, and like Bayern and Bayern and Papersar might have a good future. Like and yeah, and they might have like a good future, but we still know. I like when we look at City, for example, they got Rodri, and Arsenal they got Declan Rice. I want that type of caliber of midfielder as well.
Okay, that's really interesting to hear. But I think that kind of wraps us up nicely for today's little live. So thank you very much to everyone for all their questions and for tuning in. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It's free to do so. It takes literally 3-4 seconds to do so. And even if you don't come back, it will be massively appreciated. We've got a big year ahead, lots of guests, whether it be Crackers, Lee McQueen from Last Word on Spurs, or plenty of others, as you can see tonight, top guests wherever you look. So thank you very much for your questions, for your contribution, and for tuning in. A big thanks to my panel. Firstly, Peter, thank you very much for coming on. It's great to have you back on the channel. I think people in the comments will absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, I know.
Where can people find you, Peter? Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much, everyone. Obviously, I love coming on every single time. It's always a great time. You can find me on Twitter at Poro Season is in the name. I haven't been as active with the Twitter space now. I promise I'll bring them back soon. Don't worry. But I am more active on Twitch with my friends. Vinster29 on Twitch. You can see me play Football Manager live there on Twitch. So make sure you go give Vinster29 a follow.
Thank you very much. Yeah, do go give that a follow, and Poro SN on X. Yeah, thank you very much. A lot of people saying great stream, so do really appreciate it. Recently, I've appointed a team, Scarfy Spurs, for example, my admin Lewis, and we often go live at the moment every day because there's a lot of transfer news to discuss. So by subscribing, you'll be a lot of streams. Peter, luckily, is on a few times as well. Again, next season already, so there should be a good season ahead. But go check out Peter on all socials. Rinketic, thank you very much for coming on once again. I think it's second or third time on the channel. Where can people find you on social media?
On X, Rinketic 1250, I believe, and then I have my YouTube channel as well. But I don't upload Spurs that much. You find better Spurs channels like Harry and others. So, but yeah, I don't upload Spurs stuff that much, to be honest. But yeah,
nice. Maybe one day, do you reckon you get back into
One or two videos here and there, but I don't think I will do it like consistently. And thanks for letting me jump in.
No, thank you very much for coming on. It's fantastic to have you. And Haz, thank you for your last little minute cameo, if you like. Where can people find you on social media?
So as you guys, as you alluded to, sorry, Harry, the Spurs Kings TV format's not going to be next season. So you can still find me on that channel occasionally, I guess, on Spurs Kings TV. I don't know what we're doing next season.
How. Yeah.
But I can guarantee you guys this: the Friday show is still going to happen, and me and TJ are still going to do it. I don't know if you're still joining, Harry, or if you might just hop on, whatever. It depends on your.
I'm available. I'm certainly available for this month. Definitely.
Depends when you like obviously, because you're saying you're doing GCSEs and stuff, so you know. So whenever we'll send you the link, but that will be happening on Friday 7 p.m. Me and TJ are definitely going to do that. So on me and his channel 100%. We already discussed this, so I can tell this like on live now. So please go subscribe to me and TJ's channels and Harry's, of course. Also, I'm going to be aiming to stream on like a Wednesday, because the way my work has fallen, whatever you want to say it's fallen, Wednesdays is probably a good day for me to stream as well. That's before the Thursday match game most normally. So Wednesdays and Fridays going to be my thing, and maybe one on the weekend every so often. I also post post-match reviews as well, like little videos. Not like Harry's, he just starts to the stream. But yeah, so I've got one tomorrow morning reviewing this in Solanke. So please go and check it out at 8 a.m. And also thanks for having me on, Harry, even though it was last minute.
Yeah, no, last minute call up. But no, thank you very much. Do really appreciate it. So thank you everybody tuned in, who put their questions in. Thanks again to my panel, and a massive come on you Spurs for now.
Working as a manager at Celtic Park when we met you. We picked you out, you shook us up and turned us around. You've turned us into something new. And Postecoglou, you know that we believe it when you say you're gonna change it. And Postecoglou, we're the mighty Tottenham and nobody's gonna stop them. Oh, we look so fine in blue and lily white. And then he said to me, I'm from a land down under. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh.